Good evening, boys. We're back again with another one of these things. And today we've got some Krieg heavy weapons squad. Because we got a Krieg heavy weapons squad. And we're gonna fucking paint it, boys. Beautiful. So I've already built one of these up, not gonna lie. So I've got one behind the scenes, art attack style, one I prepared earlier. And we're just gonna pop through there. I'm just gonna turn myself down so I'm not deafening myself with my own voice, and that's a lot better. So yeah, I've upgraded the audio, so the audio should be a little bit better this time. I've got a better microphone, so yeah, it should be pretty good. Hopefully it's not clipping or anything. It's hard for me to tell, but yeah, we're just gonna have to work through these little teething problems as we go, boys. But anyway, without further ado, let's not talk about all the technical bollocks. We're on for a lovely little episode today, lads. So, Krieg Heavy Weapons Squad. Awesome box. Obviously, these guys come with a smaller base, as you can see here. Let's have a look. Let's flip this over at the back and have a look. So, that's your normal little 28mm, I believe. Or if not 32, maybe at this point. Yeah, it'll be 32. If we look at these, you'll notice that couldn't really have two guys on it and a gun, like the heavy weapons teams of old, which look like this. Look like this. That's a much bigger base size. So they have a smaller base size, and I thought, well, I've kind of got an idea. But I need a bigger base size for it. Let's just also appreciate the fact that I put a gobbo head on that guy. This was a little bash together of some random bits. There were some awesome ways you could make like extra free guys. Well, the sets of these. So I actually broke some of them apart, and I've used the bigger base for this. So, can you tell that this base is the same size as that? So I've had to use these for these guys so I can whack all these sandbags on the end. I wanted to do something special with these guys because I think, like, well, the Krieg are worthy of it. The Krieg are worthy of an extra little bit of cool factor, and so I've went ahead and done that. The sandbag component was just it's like a one thing. I can't remember what I got it off some eBay seller, and I realized I can hot glue it to the outside of the old style heavy weapons team bases. So obviously I've had to pilfer them. But there we go. That's what it looks like. So I did hot glue him some sprues that kind of like held up on like a camo netting. Well, that's the idea anyway. I've got all the components still. They're camo netting. Obviously I've got some sprues and stuff so we can redo that. But I thought that it'd be better to get this guy painted before we move on to the step of enclosing him in like a camouflage net. So I want him in like a camouflage bunker everywhere they go. And I've got the components to do this for the rest of the box as well. So yeah. Without further ado, I think we should crack on with getting this guy painted. Actually, just before we get to that stage, I want to show you what the scheme is for these Krieg guys. This is one I've painted earlier. Go on, focus. Focus, you bastard, you. Get some of this stuff out of the way. Go on, focus. You know you want to focus. There we go. So, I've decided to go for like a camouflage scheme for this whole army, which is kind of not very Krieg-y, but I've just kind of found an easy way to do it because obviously camouflage is one of the things that's a bit more challenging inside of the hobby. This is the tank from the same regiment. I like the idea that they're like camouflage, like to be used on like forest worlds and stuff. That's my kind of like the way I think about it. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is probably go around and pick out all the greens on him. I've obviously already went ahead and done that, so yeah, that's probably the first little step. So we've got somebody viewing already. that's great. I'll wait maybe till we've got a couple more viewers down. I don't know. Start cracking on about some stuff. For now, I'm just going to start getting some colour on this fella. Krieg's an army I've always wanted to do, and it's taken me so long to actually get it going. No, obviously with a large part to hand to the fact that there's plastic kits for it now. I don't think I was ever going to buy into the Forge World resin. I think if you wanted to go with those old sculpts and you weren't using the new plastic kits, your only option would be extremely expensive, like pre-owned miniatures or recasts. So the fact that these have come along with all these new kits, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I'm kind of bastardizing Krieg a little bit in like making them a more vehicular faction. Well, for my army is at least. Obviously, they're more known for their, huge amounts of fellas just running at guns. But not so much in my little headcanon lore for my own regiment. It also means I've got a semi-valid excuse to not sit and paint 100 fucking guardsmen. So that is the number of guardsmen that I am actually aiming for. I'd like to have 100. I think once you've got 100, you've got enough. Unless you want to go horde guard, then really you want about 120 at least. Pretty much like, it's like, how much money do you want to spend to get all the infantry to maybe only use them like once in an apocalypse game, maybe ever, maybe twice. Like, whoa. It's a lot of investment when you think about the time it takes to paint it as well. It's a big investment. Not so much now that, you've got the plastic kits and a bit more accessible and things like that. And, you've got some great retailers in the UK. Probably the best one right now, Red October Games. Everything that they sell, Games Workshop wise, is 25% off, which is actually the cheapest in the UK. And it's not like just a sale. That's their price all the time, so I wouldn't go anywhere else personally. If you're interested in getting stuff for 25% off, just have a look in my description. There'll be a link, and you can get everything for 25% off, which in this day and age is a huge saving, especially with the recent price rise. You got to do everything to keep this hobby accessible and affordable. Especially when you're playing something like the Guard, which requires a lot of either really big expensive kits of about like 40 to 50 plus pounds, or an absolute metric shit ton of boyos. Excellent. Okay. What else should be green? Oh, Scar Snake. Yeah, Scar Snake. Alright, that's pretty much probably... You know what, actually, I'm going to go in the same fashion as my tanks, and all of the metal areas I'm going to do in this green, and then just chip the living shit out of it with a sponge. Just to make it look like, they've attempted to camouflage everything, and it's just been worn away by battle. That's what I'm going for this. Going with this. Makes it easy as well because you use blast green on everything. Still trying to decide what exact colour I'm going to go with for these sandbags here. Probably I might end up going for like a bleach bone colour, because they are pretty much like creamy bone colour in real life. Beautiful. So believe it or not, this kit comes with heavy flamers. Like, check this out. Really cool. Really cool. Yeah, it's all of that. But who's going to get caught up by that? you know exactly where it is. It can't move very fast. It's very avoidable. So you'd have to, so situational. You'd have to be against like a melee army that's like with squishy infantry. You're talking like Tyranids, Orcs, that kind of thing. And just put it where you know you're going to get charged. Other than that, they don't have that much of a use. I think auto cannons is the way forward, personally, for my choice. I've got a hell of a load of Lehman Russes. I think I've got about 5 or 6 Lehmans. I've got 3 Basilisks, Hellhound, Rogal Dawn. I sold my Baneblade. We're gonna have to get that back, without a doubt. So I've got the armor. I've got the heavy weapons. I've got the hard hitters. I need some anti-infantry capability, so that's what these boys are going to be for. Holding down fire lanes. It's going to be excellent. Jobs. Okay. What else shall we go? You know what? Let's smash all this plating. Let's do all that as green too. There goes my hero. Watch him as he comes. Excellent. Just going to do a little check on the audio and the music, make sure everything's still going. Well, I can hear myself, but not the media source. I'm just going to trust that you can hear it because it says you can. If anybody's watching, do let me know if you can actually hear this. You can actually hear the music playing, because there is music playing. Oh great, we're nearly there. I'd say that's probably it for the green. Okay, sounds good to some. Sounds good to me. Excellent. I can hear music. Wonderful. Okay. So I've got to be quite cognizant to like record these and do these in such a way that I can use the footage for other videos. So I've been painting Marnius Calgar, and sometimes off camera, sometimes off stream, sometimes on stream. So I will be editing it all together regardless. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, I think Skarsnik green. My big old tub of paint. I wish I was one of those guys that had them all like lovely and organised, but I don't. So sorry about that. Oh goodness. And now is it Elysian green? This is one before the washes. That's looking like Elysian green to me. Not Skarsnik. Skarsnik. I need to remember to bloody chuck the ones that are dried up away. It catches me out. I'll look at my paint, think I've got something, then I'll go to the hobby shop, and then wish I'd bought it when I come back and realise that the paint that I thought that I had was actually fucking dried out. Yeah, I need to turn that back down. Alright. Where the bloody hell have you gone, Sam? But looking at those paint like organisers that you can put on your desk and stuff, problem is a lot of the time I like to take it down to Red October, my friendly local gaming store, and you know, take my paints down and break them out and do a bit of hobbying down there. So I don't really want a big rack and have to like organise it and unorganise it. So I'm kind of looking for something that's like a case for my paint that I can use at home, and so I can quickly take things out. So if anybody's found anything like that, by all means, do let me know about it, because I'm on the hunt. Okay. All the clothing. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think it actually might be Scarsnake green. Or Strachan green. No, not Strachan green. So let's see how this dries. Let's see how that dries. Just leave that, and I'll do a bit of metal, and then we'll come back to that and see how that dries. Lead Belcher. Lovely. Oh, no messing with the lead belcher. You know what you're gonna get every bloody time. Excellent. Excellent. I can definitely do a video at some point that shows people where I got this stuff from and how to make their own. Behind the barricade, dude. I've also got some very special basing materials to make it look like he's surrounded by rubble as well, which is going to be excellent. I want to make this army feel like they're between the forests that they've just come from and the city that they've just shelled and destroyed. Lovely. And we'll paint this breach as well. I do wish that people could speak on these things other than me. That would be awesome. People could like join in, and like a couple of people at a time could say things. I wish that was a feature. It's like, at what point are those wheels probably supposed to be mostly metal? We'll try for that. Let's go for that. I'm making banana bread while I watch bread. Is that a riddle? Well, you're the only person in here. It's a few less views than last time. What can you do? You can't hit it out of the park and get 7 concurrent viewers every time, can you? I'm aiming for to see if we can get to 300 subscribers by December. It's a tall order. I think I've got like best part of 60 to go. So hopefully we can get there. It would be a good milestone to end the year. That would be wonderful. a wonderful little event to reach 300 subscribers. I think ultimately the ultimate goal is to get to that 500. That would be enough for me for now. It's funny. It's like, in what ways do you measure success on something on YouTube? It's hard to get to any true, like, overarching level of success in such a niche. There's only so far you can climb if the mountain's so high. But yeah, it's not really about that, to be honest. I'll tell you what this whole channel is about, and why it exists, and why I'm doing this. It's to tie me to this hobby. Not in a bad way, not in like a way of I'm forcing myself to do it, but it gives me like something that anchors me beyond just like the whim of fancying to do it some days and fancying not to do it some other days, or because my interests cycle round endlessly, but they never really change. This is the thing. I've got the same kind of interests and hobbies as I've always had. They just take turns, and I don't really have any like control over them. I think like in the last like year or so, I've managed to get a hold of it and slightly influence which ones I'm interested in more than others at certain points, but I still really am beholden to what my brain decides it likes this month. And it's quite detrimental because you quite never get any of them done. So you could start 100 hobbies and never actually do any of them properly. I think Warhammer is the one hobby that I've consistently done the most. And I've gone whole years with never even bloody thinking about it, and then I come back to it and I'm all in again. But it's always been there. I think that rings true for a lot of people, to be fair. This hobby takes and it gives. Oh boy, does it take sometimes. So much so to the point where sometimes you can just fall out of favour with it for a while. Whether that be just the way that your hobby is going, the way the company might be acting, for instance. I don't know about that. How much time it requires of you that you might not have at that time, or whatever. But it's always been there. And I need something that might draw that consistency out of me. Because I've invested a lot into this hobby. Like most of us, we've invested a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of passion, a lot of thoughts. And it would be nice to have something beyond the hobby itself that ties me to it. Obviously, I'm sat here. I'm actually getting to do the hobby right now. But I'm also creating content. Which is also something I quite like to do as well. So it's two birds with one stone here. I'm also, thankfully, I feel it is a blessing that I'm able to be affiliated with Red October Games, which is a company near me that's opened up. That, to be honest, deserves as much support as I can actually give it. It's the perfect establishment. You can drink beer. They make their Warhammer and Games Workshop products and wargaming products as cheap as they possibly can. I don't know anywhere that does 25% off as consistently throughout their ranges as they do. And yeah, I mean, if I can do my hobby, make content, and promote these guys at the same time, of course there's some little benefits of I can get things cheaper than normal people can, because I'm an affiliate. Obviously, I've got my affiliate link, so anything that you guys get that goes through my link, I make a very small commission on. and that just helps the channel really. Obviously I'm not going to make like money to any degree. My normal job, it makes all my money. This is not something I'm doing for any money really. It's more of a nice little bonus. I think all the money that is made through this affiliate link, it's just going to go on treats for my cats and dogs. So yeah, that's where it's going to, guys. When you click the link and get yourself a good deal, you're also getting treats for my dog. I'll post little pictures of him eating his treats and stuff like that. So yeah, everybody's winning around here, guys. Everybody's winning. And if this is something that you can tune into every once in a while and feel like you're doing this with someone, and maybe you're part of something on a regular basis, that's all the more better. So we're all winning. We're all winning around here, lads. Excellent. Tomorrow, I'll be streaming with Squiddy. I think we're kicking off about 7 PM. I'm sure we'll come with some interesting topics to talk about. That'll be a little less impromptu than this one. Yeah, and that should be a good one. Nearly all done with this metal now. I'm terrible for leaving bits out when it comes to little crevices like this. I usually just fucking pack it in after it looks like I've done it all. Which, to be fair, I'm about there. Okay, any other bits that probably should be metal? Probably those springy little coil bits, so should probably be metal, to be fair. Probably should have started with the metal because of all those components like just in there. After go past this green bit I've already done, and obviously I've dirtied up some of that green bit, so I'll have to sort that out. But the chipping, to be fair, will hide that, so I don't even think it's even necessary. Okay, that has dried lighter than that, so I believe that is not that though. What is it? What the bloody hell is that? It's not Scarsnick yet. It might be Strachan green. Let's have a look. What do you reckon? Seems bluey. Whack that on something. Oh yeah, I think that's it actually, guys. It's like Strachan greens in play. We'll go straight on with some Strachan green on top. See how we go with that. Yeah, that seems to be it. I say that, but this has got a wash on. Oh, that one doesn't. What the bloody hell's going on? Which one? Wait. This guy's got Elysium green on with a wash. This guy's got Strachan green with no wash. This guy looks like he had... Yeah, that's Elysium green under there. We're going to do Elysium green, guys. Obviously, I didn't plan on doing this one tonight. I'm just kind of doing this as like a impromptu little thing, just to keep myself in that algorithm. While I've got the large amounts of motivation to be doing these regular streams, may as well do them while I'm hobbying, because it keeps us in the algorithm, keeps us going. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry again to see what that looks like. So, only 4 views today. That's pretty shit. Can't lie. Oh well. So I'm not want to be deterred by not having enough viewers, but I don't want to talk to myself for hours. So I think I'll just kind of chillily paint until we get some more people joining. Yeah, it's definitely Alicia. Paint the rest of this guy's fatigues. Oh dear, the people going, oh no, I'll continue paints. Mate, the amount of stuff I clag on in the next phase when I dirty these fuckers up. Yeah. When I was younger, man, I had such a bad time of such a bad time of like picking schemes. I just didn't have the right taste. When you're a kid, man, you just don't know what's going to look good. You just think, oh, I'll do my Astra Militum. I'll do them like red and gold. They'll look sick. No, they won't. They'll look shit. They will look shit. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think sometimes when you're a kid, I remember like I couldn't just go out and get all the colours that I wanted and do anything, you know, like motherfucker, we were going to the Games Workshop once a year, maybe, if you're lucky. So there was no just like getting whatever colour you wanted. You had to work with the colours that you had pretty much most of the time, and you talked yourself into that, oh well, I can mix colours. And then you'd never fucking remember how you did it. Because you're a kid. You just don't have that organizational power. I definitely fucking didn't. Probably still don't to this day. If I started trying to do mixed colors on a paint scheme across an army, I would forget that shit. I'm just fucking terrible. But just, yeah, terrible for that type of stuff. I'm just gonna go check something, guys. 1 sec. It'll be about 20 seconds. Ellie, just leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Yes. Okay, we're back. Keep cracking on with these fatigues. To be fair, I think that's most of it. I mean, I've got these gloves. They've definitely got gloves on. What are they supposed? What colour do they say that they should be? Black. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't think I'm going to do mine as black though. I don't think I have with the other ones. I think I've done them brown. Yeah, makes more sense for this scheme for sure. Alright. Get up in there. The little disheartening. That's a little disheartening. It's a little disheartening when you're when no one's watching. Well, I'm not going to use this for anything else, so I guess I'll just wait until someone joins. I wonder why this one hasn't been pushed at all. Fuck's sake. I wonder why this one hasn't been pushed. The last one did pretty well. You just gotta get on and do them. You just gotta crack on. I'm all about like attacking this hobby in a way that like every way that I think about every step of doing this is like I'm doing everything that I can to just get painted miniatures on the field, because you kind of like make this covenant with yourself when you get into this hobby. I want to like, you always see like, oh, it's one of those things. From the outside looking in at this hobby, you can tell that one of the hard things is to get everything painted and on the field. And I know for a fact that I've got lots of friends who collect miniatures. They never fucking paint them or base them or play with them, and I just wonder what the fuck is the point. And I wish that they would just go, but I think they're so worried about painting them wrong, and just they overthink the painting stage that they never get it done, which is a shame because they're missing out on the main joy of the hobby, which is fielding that painted army that you've done. I mean, that's the whole point. And so when you get into for me at least, when you get into this hobby, you make that covenant with yourself, like, I'm going to get the miniatures, I'm going to build them, I'm going to paint them, I'm going to do them well, and I'm going to field them all painted. I'm going to have them all painted and based. I'm going to make them all in like a theme. They're going to be awesome, and I'm going to do it. I'm just going to figure it out. You kind of promise yourself that you're going to get to the point where they are done. So I'm at that point where I'm just trying to fulfill that covenant, because I slipped into that all too well-known like problem of just like buying boxes, having an idea for a kind of force that will work like this. I'll get this unit and this unit and this unit, and before you know it, you've bought like 4 or 5 kits and you haven't actually painted any of them. I mean, maybe you'll get them and you'll bust them open and you'll build them up, but actually painting and then basing them, I'd like to say that maybe 10 to 15% of my guys have ever received that treatment, and I feel like I kind of broke that covenant with my younger self, who would have just done anything to be able to have enough miniatures to be able to paint and base at that time. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So everything that I do, the techniques that I choose, the practices that I go through and I implement, are all 100% just designed to make it easy for myself to get a nice army on the field. That's what it's all about. So when I pick a scheme, the scheme has to be easy to do. It can't be elaborate, or if it is, it has to have like some kind of secret technique in which it's a lot easier than you would expect to pull off. Because that's what I'm on right now. If I'm gonna buy something, I'm gonna open that box, I'm gonna build them, I'm gonna paint them, and I'm gonna base them. and I'm not going to be moving on to the next thing until I've sealed that part of that covenant that I've made with myself. And that accountability is going to be forged on this channel. So the new Krieg box that's coming out, I'm absolutely after one of those, and I'm going to probably do some kind of like marathon where I need to order it up on lives or on a big video or something like that. Maybe we'll do some kind of challenge or something, because it's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful box, and it's exactly what I need for my army. So like, if I don't get my hands on one, I'm going to be very, very upset. So I'm sure I'll be getting one of those sorted out with Red October Games, and I look so much forward to opening that big bad boy up and getting my teeth into it. That'll be a nice one for Christmas. Maybe we'll do a Christmas Day stream of some stuff on there. Maybe we'll do something. Probably not Christmas Day, actually. Maybe we'll do a Boxing Day stream. I'll be absolutely fucking lathered on Christmas Day, as any good Englishman should be. Okay, I'm gonna do this the same colour. Venetian green. I like to try keep that palette small. Each of those colours across like multiple dimensions of the miniature, rather than trying to pack too many colours onto something. Hello, Mr. One Concurrent Viewer. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining me as I begin to right the wrongs of the broken covenant of unpainted miniatures. I was just mentioning before, into the ether before you joined, about like that covenant that you made with your younger self, or that version of you that got into this hobby, as to say, when I'm going to get my models, I'm going to paint them, I'm going to base them, and I'm going to field an awesome looking army. Because for many of us, that's what this hobby was about, you know. But most of us, unfortunately, we never ever live up to that, and it's a shame. We never live up to that expectation and that promise that we made ourselves. And our piles of shame, they grow. Our built and unpainted miniatures, it grows and grows and grows. So everything that I'm trying to do at the minute is to just counteract that and make that covenant right. And you left. Thanks, man. We'll press on. We'll press on. Gorgeous. What a great kit, honestly. So let me just show off. There's no one here, but I've got to wait for that to dry anyway. So let me just show off some of these cool basing materials that I've got. These are going to make it real easy for me to do this basing that I've been wanting to do. So check this out. I've got a bag of generic rubble. All sorts of stuff in there, just yards of dandy rubbliness. Awesome. Got some barbed wire, very Kriegy. Got to do loads of that. A little bag of brown bricks. And a little bag of red bricks. Really cool. Scatter them around the place. And I've got one that's got some red bricks embedded in, like another, well, I suppose we've got 2 bags. Which is a very generous offering. From that eBay seller. Very cool. So I'll be basing all the miniatures with this stuff. I think it's unique and gonna capture the eye. That and my camouflage netting and camouflage ski. It's just something a little bit out of the ordinary. And it shouldn't be that hard to implement either, which just goes back to doing things that aren't hard to implement but have a great effect. For me, Krieg have always been a head-turning army. So they do command, in my opinion, a little bit of extra effort to make them really nice and really cool and stand out. Because a lot of people have Krieg now. They're not what they used to be. They're not that like, oh wow, somebody's got some Krieg at the store. Everybody gather around and have a look at it. You don't see this very, very often. Not like that anymore with these plastic kits being out. So if you want to stand out with the Krieg army, you've got to kind of, you know, you got to put a little bit more into it. Okay, what should we do next? Let's do the brown of the boots and the gloves. Oh, and the fatigues. So, where's my Kygo brown? That's what was pink. Gillen's flash. This is where I wish I was a little bit more. Oh, good nice. That's darker flesh. Fucking hell. That's Blood Angel's red. Okay, flesh. Kygo brown. Gillen flesh. Christ. I've got more contrasts than I remember I did. I'll need that. I'll get that Agrax out ready. Probably should have had a look for this before I started, but no, pup. Don't be doing that. Just trying to stream with a dog isn't ideal. Go away, go on. Go downstairs, sweetheart. Go on, good boy. No, that doesn't mean come back. Go on. Go on, go on. Okay. Oh, here it is. Kygo brown. Okay. I do like contrast paint sometimes. I must admit. Oh, nearly spilled it on camera. Bloody hell. Okay. Pip, go on. Go away. Let's see how it goes over the top of this Death Guard green. Obviously this is rattle canned on. This isn't something that is part of the scheme particularly. It's just rattle canned on. It's the best base to start with when you're doing this scheme. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, looks pretty good. It looks good enough. That's all we need it to look like at this point, guys. I'm not aiming for perfect. With pretty much anything that I do, I'm just aiming for tabletop quality with some nice features. It's more about the overall arching like design and palette choices than it is like little details, how sick your edge highlights are, you know, are you adding in wet blending and stuff like that. That's all good, but that's like its own corner of the hobby, like away from us who like to play the fucking game. I wonder how often people really get their armies, what's I going to say, you know, varnished. Obviously, there's like a rattle can varnish that you can get that seals them after they're done. I've never ever done that with a miniature, probably because I've never felt that I'd never ever want to change anything about it. I think I always leave something with like oh well, I could maybe one day go back and pick out those highlights just a little bit crisper, and you never fucking do. You never do. Alright, that's looking good. What's next then? Gotta wait for those fatigues to dry before we can go in with any agrax, because that is the next point, is to agrax it up. How are we doing on here? No concrete pures. Yeah, I've got to figure out what's happened, guys, because last stream there was 200 views on it, and this one there's been 5. And people don't really search for these; they pop up. So I don't know what's going on personally. We'll have to call this one a little bit of a failed experiment because something's gone awry. I don't know what it is. I mean, it was a Monday night and I managed to hit 200 viewers, and it's a Friday night and I've hit 5. So I don't know what's gone on. But, you know, guys, I think we're going to end this here. Yeah. I will still see you tomorrow night. I'm going to figure out how to drive a bit more towards that. But yeah, okay, guys. Thanks very much.